We started here in about 15 seconds. And welcome to Planning Your Business for Success. Let's go and get started. Thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Rich Rudnick. I'm your host and trainer, and I'll introduce myself in just a moment. I first of all want to welcome everyone here today on our webinar. We have a great representation across the U.S. and Canada. We have callers from Oregon to Massachusetts, from Florida to Saskatchewan and Alberta, Canada. And I'm really excited about everyone who is with us today on this call. We have a multiple representation of different industries. You'll find out that we serve a number of industries. And I'm really excited to talk with you today about 2013 and how to make that your best year ever. So before I introduce myself further, I do have some housekeeping class rules, very easy, that I do want to go over with you. And this will make our experience and time together that much more positive. I'm asking you to please not put us on hold. Now, I have everyone on mute right now. I'm also asking you to put yourself on mute, and that's because at the end of our time, I'll be opening up the phones, and we'll want people to call in and converse as we have time. And I want to also let you know that we have a lot of information to go through. So our goal is to have time at the end for some Q&A. I do ask that you all participate. Now, since everything is on mute, the best way to do that is with your chat feature. And what I'm asking you to do, as going through, if you have a question or a comment, go ahead and place that on the chat, especially if it's relevant to everyone on the call. And when I'm done with the webinar, I'll address those questions one at a time. If we're short on time, or if I don't get to every question, we will respond to you via email. We should be able, hopefully, to identify your information by the chat message. If it's not showing your name, go ahead and type your name in there as well, and we'll be sure and get back to you. I want to encourage you to take notes. We'll talk about the materials you've been given. One of them is a handout, a particular outline, but take notes. There's a lot of information we'll be going over, and we want you to be able to review and be able to implement and put in place into your business. And then finally, I believe mostly for yourself, eliminate distractions and background noise. One of the keys that we help clients, and we are blessed to be able to work with very successful, high-achieving producers in multiple industries, is the ability to really focus and stay on task. And so for your sake, first of all, try to eliminate any background noise and distractions, but mostly when we do open the phones at the end, so that it doesn't disrupt our time together. Some support material you should have for our time were emailed to you yesterday by Anita. And so what you should have in front of you would be the participant outlines. Now, I will let you know that that's just a small representation of the information we'll be going through. Notes. Take note outside of the line. Fill in the blanks. Have an extra notepad with you as well. We'll be sharing a number of key business components that are crucial for growing one's business. You should also have in front of you the Harvard Report excerpts. We'll put some of them up on the screen, but importantly, you'll be utilizing those to help work and develop and build your business plan for 2013. You should have pretty much for your industry-specific business plan and prospect plan in front of you. So let me go ahead very quickly and introduce myself. Again, we have some new people on the call. My name is Rich Rudnick, and I am the CEO and head coach for Smart Sales Solutions. I started the company in 2004. I've created the Smart Sales Solution. I have a 29 your background in skills and sales development, capacity building, helping companies start from the ground up. I'm also a certified behavior analyst, and basically what that means is we have access to assessment tools, including DISC. In our webinar series, we'll actually be sharing DISC and behavior selling skill sets with you. My wife and I will be celebrating our 25th anniversary in March, so don't expect any webinars that last week of March. And our three lovely children bless us every day. What's more important is our company and our great support staff like Anita, who we couldn't do this without her, and Kim and Donna. We have an excellent coaching staff as well from a number of different industries. We serve over 30 industries, and our coaches cover that. You'll see them up on the screen. But our background very quickly is we started the company in 2004. We do serve North America, over 350 clients, multiple industries served. I think we have 7 to 8 different industries on this call. We do 3 things: coaching, training, and consulting. We'll talk a little bit about one-on-one, so you have information about that at the end. We also do training, and this is our live webinar format. There's 3 goals we have with our clients. You see on the top of the screen 3 things we want to accomplish with our clients. Number 1 is we want to unlock the true potential that exists within each and every one of our clients. We really let ourselves back from being all that we have the potential to become. We'll talk about that. We help our clients run at peak performance. I'll actually give you a little insight on what that is. And finally, we want to advance everyone's business. That's what we'll be in talking about today. And the first step for you to achieve a large goal, in fact, perhaps the largest goal you've ever achieved, or have the best year you've ever had, to increase your productivity beyond what you could ever imagine possible, is to believe you can achieve it. You believe you can achieve that high goal. I have questions that I want you to process internally as we go through this. Number 1, for yourself, ask yourself internally, do you believe it's possible for you to grow your business here in 2013? Is it possible for you to have your best year ever? Opportunities in the market or in your arena, your business arena, that you're not tapping or that you could tap, that could help grow business. Are you seeing other agents or reps like yourself thriving in the market? Maybe you're not. Maybe you are, and you want to make sure you stay that way. Maybe you're not, and you want to be on your best game. Do you believe you can grow your business in this market? We have on this call representation from almost every market share in the country. Some are dealing in very strong markets right now. Some still in recessionary markets. Markets will challenge us, no doubt. In fact, in the strong markets, more casualties than in weaker markets because of complacency. Because you're in a strong market doesn't mean you'll be successful. Next, just because you're in a challenging market doesn't mean you may struggle or even fail. You see, it's not so much what the market's doing as what you're doing within the market. And we will all be defined in this market. This market will define us as either a statistic, a survivor, or a thriver. I want to turn this very quickly because this is extremely important. Statistics, we don't want to hold any judgment against them, but statistics are people or businesses that have closed. They've maybe hung their license. Again, no judgment call. Sometimes we may have felt over the last several years that we would become a statistic ourselves. Survivors, and there are 2 kinds of survivors. There are surviving thrivers, and there are what I call sandbaggers. There are people that are in hunker-down mode. They were stockpiling on food and water, stockpiling on guns and ammo, but they're not forward-thinking. the only direction for them to head is to become a statistic. They're just trying to delay the inevitable. There are surviving thrivers. There are people who are maybe treading water, their heads a little above water, or their business flow is, they're doing okay, but they know they can do better. And then there are thrivers. There are people, there are businesses that tend to thrive no matter what the market condition is. It's interesting that we can take the same market, we can even take the same office and get 3 different results. One that I want you all to take away, no matter what your circumstance, no matter what the market, no matter what kind of a year you had in 2012, this is the time to advance. This is not the time to be complacent or retreat. Just kick back. If you're in it to win it, this is time to really make the plays and move forward and advance. And the opportunities are definitely there. I mentioned that thrivers run at peak performance. Most of us, and we found in our coaching with our clients, that most of us run at about 50 to 60% of our true potential. And I think most of you on this call would probably agree with that. The good news is there's potential, there's greater potential for you. You're not at your peak. Clients to get out of the way of themselves and realize the true potential. In other words, we hold ourselves back from all that we've been created to be. This usually starts from an internal attitude. I want to share with you, though, right now, the key components of peak performance. I said thrivers run at peak performance. Well, what is peak performance? Well, very quickly, I want to write this with you. Thrivers who run at peak performance exercise the consistency disciplines. Let me just talk briefly about what the consistency disciplines are. They prospect to grow business on a consistent basis. Be time management sensitive. In fact, our next webinar is on leveraging time to grow your business. I'll share with you the key components that top performers utilize when managing and blocking their day. Everything is scheduled by appointment. They're much in control of their business, and they're in control of their time and clients and expectations. Okay? They effectively manage their leads through a lead management system. Goals are specific and written down. We'll come back and talk about this. They review them on a regular basis. They follow consistently a sales process, and they know their numbers, tracking their production. Those are just a few of the consistency disciplines we find. And again, we've been very blessed and had the opportunity to work with some of the most successful individuals across industries, and this is the commonality that we found with them. Another discipline that peak performers or drivers running at peak performance then are what I call persistency disciplines. So here's what I'm talking about with persistency disciplines. They identify the screen objections. They have a strategic response for them. They get to the bottom line with their prospects. They have never quit, give up attitude, and they continually persevere through trials and tribulations. All drivers have had trials and tribulations. They just didn't let it break them. They let it make them. And so they pushed through. And the trials and tribulations are good in honing and refining. And then attitude. Thrive, running peak performance, have the attitude set. And here's what I talk about. They see the opportunities in the problem. Attitude determines their altitude. But they're also not Pollyanna. They're very realistic about their circumstances. So don't let that crowd them. And then finally, confidence. And I will have to say this. Anyone who's doing business right now, I don't care what the market is, will not do business with someone who lacks confidence. At this point today, looking at next year and struggling with confidence, we need to go a little deeper and find out what that holdback is, because to run peak performance, we need to have high levels of confidence in yourself, in your company, in the management if there's management above you, or in management if you're the manager. What it comes down to, though, are consistency disciplines. But this is peak performance. This wanted to touch you on this. You'll actually receive a year in review after our webinar. I'll encourage you to take that. This will help you to rate yourself in the peak performance disciplines and help identify what are the key development areas for you to achieve your plan once you've built that. All of this leads back to the consistency disciplines of setting specific goals and plans. I'll talk with you about business planning and what the goal and purpose for the business plan is. Now, this might surprise you. The goal and purpose for creating your business plan is to, number one, establish your core values, your core purpose, and BHAG. I'll explain what the BHAG is in just a moment. The next goal and purpose of the business plan is set specific goals. Annual, monthly, weekly, and daily goals. It's very important to have it. Now, I would encourage you to have your business plan in front of you. Somebody has just joined us, and for some reason, if you weren't placed on mute, if you can mute your phone, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you very much. I will have your business plan in view. Some questions here for you. I want you to think about this for a moment regarding your business plan. And that is, have you done a plan in the past? Now, if we were all in a room together, and there's a number of you on the call, if I said, how many of you have done a business plan in the past, a large number of you probably would raise your hand, probably more than 50%. If I had you keep your hand up, and I said, how many of you did a business plan and broke it down to monthly goals, more hands would drop down. How many of you took your business plan down to weekly goals, even more hands would drop down. How many of you broke your goals down to daily goals, almost all the hands would drop down. If I then said, how many of you took your goals and plans, reported and results to someone, and reviewed it on a daily basis, almost everyone else's hands would drop, except, hopefully, for our clients. Clients in the room would still have their hand up. This is a real key component on understanding the difference between generalities and specifics, and I will spend more time with you on that. Here's something else that's very important reading your business plan and setting and achieving large goals coming forward. Most of you on this call are what I would label a sales rep, an agent, an independent person. I have some sales managers on the call. I have a few owners or CEOs on the call. My question for you, if not an official CEO of a company, how many of you are thinking of yourself as the CEO of your business? What I want to accomplish with you today is I want you to start thinking of yourself as the CEO of your business, even if you're just an independent sales rep, you're just the sales manager. Even the CEO of the company has to be reminded that they're the CEO of their business. Are you the CEO of your business? Are you running your business like a business? My goal is to help you put a CEO hat and start thinking this way. You are the visionary for your company. The state of your company or your business or your book of business is a reflection of your success and the vision you have for the future. Are for growth. Planning to thrive next year. Are you hoping to just hang on? I want to move you into the planning to thrive category. That's the goal for you today. Let's talk about the components of this plan. But before I do that, I want to share a quote. Generalities, we see success. If we deal in specifics, we see failure. Now, for you real estate people, that are on the call. Dave Doleman is a friend and mentor of mine. Shaped a lot of who I am from the side. Is the creator of the GRI or CRB program. Many of you have that designation. For loan originators on the call, you know out of your realtor contacts. Dave paraphrasing a quote from Thomas Munson, and Tom went on to say, when performance is measured, performance improves. When performance is measured and reported, the rate of performance accelerates. That's our goal for you. This is the key to go from ordinary or striving to thriving and extraordinary. It's dealing in the specifics, getting measuring and reportability and accountability to where you want to go. Here's one of the key reasons, and maybe this is you, why people fail to set large goals. Number one reason is they don't know how to get there. Number two, they don't think they can. There are other reasons that prevent them from doing that, but those are the top two. Well, if we break it down to daily manageable specific goals and focus on achieving the daily goal, most will come and take a look and say, listen, I can do that. That activity is easy. Is doing that consistently on a daily basis. You'll see that revelation by the time you finish your business plan as well. Okay, talk about the components of the business plan a little more in detail. And have your business plan in front of you. That was your attachment. Again, you who arrived late, you're on mute. We will unmute later. I'm still asking that you mute yourself. And if you have questions along the way, utilize the chat button. Put your questions or comments, and I will work on getting to those at the welcome. And I hope you find this time valuable for your business. Let's talk about the key core components of the business plan: core values, core purpose, and BHAG. So move to specific goals. So when I'm talking about specific goals, I'm talking about annual goals, gross sales volume, number of sales or transactions, the action you'll realize from that. Monthly goals get broken down to where we start talking about how many presentations are needed to achieve that. Weekly goals start getting more specific into how many appointments and contacts and dials, and down to the daily as well. So we'll break those specific goals down further. I want to start, though, with the core values. I want to explain what core values are. And by the way, the concept of core values, core purpose, and BHAGs come from the book Good to Great. Collins wrote that book over a decade ago. It's still one of the top 5 favorite CEO books. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend you do. Talks about what separates great companies from good companies. Now, you'll hear about a lot of Fortune 500 companies in there, but the same rules apply to you and your book of business as well. Bottom line is core values will not change or compromise. You know you will have them. There are some aspects that you have that are deal breakers. You'll leave the business if necessary. Let me give an example. Integrity. Even of you that are new on this call, I would almost bet if I had a conversation with you, asked you that if you had to lie, cheat, and steal to stay in business, would you do that? My venture is most of you would say, absolutely, I would not. I'd leave the business. That is a core value. For values, but if you haven't written them down, shared them with your clients, prospects, and staff, we're missing a key element of what makes a company great, and our goal is to help you become great. Also defines you. Besides having that business plan in front of you, one of your handouts are the Harvard Review excerpts. I want you to have that in front of you. I'm going to bring some of them up the screen. I want to talk about that. And core values are company's essential tenets. Now, these are large companies. We've all heard these names before. Okay. everybody's heard of these companies. These are what are considered great companies from the good to great. Uh, Service. Nordstrom has a very high customer service value. Some of you do as well. Work ethic, you see there, kind of a continual commitment to excellence. Walt Disney. I was in Orlando a couple of weeks ago, and I flew in late. It was for a business trip, and waiting out of baggage claim for my shuttle to pick me up, and I'm kind of feeling sorry for myself. It was about midnight. I was tired. Came all the way from West Coast, and it's not the most pleasant smelling place down there, even though it's in Orlando. And my wasn't coming, but I all of a sudden started seeing all around me all of the Walt Disney World buses. I mean, these are $1-million buses just to transport people to Disney World, and it has Disney magic all over the place. And I started to feel good all of a sudden because my thoughts went from feeling sorry for myself to reminiscing back to when I took my children on surprise visits. We took them to Disneyland and Disney World, and then seeing kids at midnight running into these buses ahead of their parents, all full of excitement, no matter what the time of the day was. Disney has done a phenomenal job of living and breathing their values, their purpose, their BHAG to become the company they are. They even made me happy in what would be a neutral or less than pleasant situation. So core values. What I want you to do, and you have your business plan in front of you, but there's no way you'll get your business plan done today. This is an introduction to it. You'll need to set time aside to work on it. But I want you to take, and we're not going to take a lot of time here, probably 30 seconds to a minute, but I'm going to put myself on hold. I want you to digest these, look on your Harvard Review excerpts on your business plan, page 1, core values. I want you to write down what are some of your values. If you've already done this, I want you to review it and find out, are those values that you're holding on to? Do you need to adjust those? Okay? So we're just going to take a few minutes, and I'll come back, or less than a minute. Just get some good action on your plan and start thinking about your core values. If you are working for a larger company and you're not sure what your company's core values and purpose are, ask your management or ask your CEO what the company core values are. This should be front and center for every company. We need to ensure that we have our core values in front of us, and we're selling, we're hiring off of our core values, we're making decisions off of those values. I want on to the next tenet, and the next tenet are core purpose. So when we're talking about core purpose, what we're talking about is the idealistic motivation for doing your work. It's the soul of what and why you do your business. Now, this may change, but this should also kind of have a what's in it for your prospects in doing business with you. So whether you're an insurance agent, a real loan originator, whether you're a small business owner, you're in media sales, we need to we have that core purpose in place. For Harvard Review, I want you to take a look. Look at your Harvard examples. But for some of those who have just joined us, you should have your Harvard excerpts, business plan in front of you, be taking lots of notes. I'll be covering a lot of content, and have your phone on mute if you could, please. Look at some of these Harvard examples. Core purpose is a company's reason for being. We really need to nail this, people, to have this done. And that's even if you're an individual, standalone rep, you have this down. Here ones. I love Disney to make people happy. That's exactly what they did for me in that example I was sharing with land, Nike is all about crushing competitors. The Greek word, the Greek translation for Nike is victory. You didn't know that. It's a Greek word. Everything about Nike is victory, and that's why they embrace their word in crushing competitors. Now, you may want to be service-oriented. It doesn't matter. You need to think about what your core purpose is. Again, just like I did with the guys, I'm just going to pause for about 30 seconds, find out, see what your company core purpose is. If you don't, start thinking about maybe what your reason for being is. Just get some get some verbiage down and get started on drafting your core purpose. We can find it later. Take about 30 seconds now. Now, so you have been wondering what BHAG is. And if you look on your business plan, you see on the bottom of page 1, a BHAG is a big, hairy, audacious goal. We all need a big, hairy, audacious goal. All right? I come from the Pacific Northwest. That's Bigfoot. I need to let you know there is no such thing as Bigfoot. If you're afraid to come to the Pacific Northwest for fear that you might run into Bigfoot, rest assured there is no such thing. So my point here with this is the people that have spent a lot of time trying to find Bigfoot probably know deep inside it doesn't exist. But it's a big, very audacious goal for them to find Bigfoot. But here's the problem. They'll never achieve it. So when you're thinking about creating your BHAG, it needs to be big, hairy. It needs to take extraordinary effort, but it needs to be attainable nonetheless. When we look at great company BHAGs, they all achieve them. You'll never achieve your BHAG if you don't have one. Every company needs one. Every rep needs a BHAG. The reason you need that is especially on the tough days. And I bet all of us at some point have entertained the concept or idea, even if just for a moment, of quitting, right? How many of us have been there where if it get any tougher, it get any more challenging, if we have one more issue come at us, we're done. Well, that's an emotional response. None of us have quit. We're all here. We're all on the call. But one area to keep us moving is to have that BHAG in front of us. The people who achieve BHAGs write them. They write them early as their business and career started, and they keep that as their main focus until they achieve it. Let's go look at some Harvard review examples. You need to give yourself permission, by the way, to have your BHAG. So a company needs one. A department needs one. Some of you on the call are department heads, sales managers. You need one for your company. Individuals need one. Reps need one for your individual business as well. So let's take a look at some BHAGs that companies have. Now, these companies had formulated them very early in their startup. There's one that's not up, and it's on your sheet, which is Nike, and it was Adidas. Now, I'm dating myself, but those who can remember going into a shoe store in the 70s, you saw a lot of Adidas, you saw a lot of Converse. Did we see much of any Nike? Well, I'm from the Midwest originally. I didn't see hardly any Nikes. Go to a shoe store, you can hardly find anything but Nike. Nike was bound and determined to be number one. They took the number one target and decided to crush them, and they did. Look at all of these companies. They all achieved their goals. Look at Sony, the third one at the top, become the company most known for changing worldwide poor quality image of Japanese products. In the early 50s, they came up with that BHAG. Now, for you history buffs and those who are old enough to remember back then, in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, when we had a product that was labeled Made in Japan, our concept was what? Cheap. Poor. Let's forward 20, 30, 40 years to the 90s, 2000s, and 2010s. When we made in Japan, we think of high quality. Sony is responsible for that. It goes way beyond just them being great and wonderful and number one. It's about qualitative. Okay? So, all of you internally probably have a BHAG, but you probably have not written it down. I want to give you permission right now to write that down. Self-permission to unabashedly write down a big, hairy, audacious goal. Remember, don't make it Bigfoot where it's absolutely unattainable. Most of the goals that you have in place technically are attainable. You just have to be working towards it. So I'm going to take, again, about 30 seconds. I don't expect you to have all of this done. I just want you to start getting something on paper that can be refined, or review your or your company's BHAG during this time. We'll take about 30 seconds. My recommendation for you when done with our webinar is to schedule time in your calendar, let's say 2 hours, for you to complete your entire business plan, where you get away, where you can get some of this reading material and just really digest and give yourself a chance for focus and vision to come up, bring some help in if you want that happen. I don't expect you to have this done now, but maybe just get a start on it is really, really important. Get it launched is really key. I want to move now into our goals and our specific goals and what that looks like. And now, each of you has your own business plan for your industry, or you have a general sales plan. We can't create a business plan for every industry, but we've created 6 different ones, and most of you are represented on this call. So, all of you have a very similar page 1. So when you're looking at your business plan, you start with on page 1. Have that in front of you. It says the 2013 IM. This is your vision statement for the year. You can include your how many dollars you're going to do and volume and the systems and process you're putting in place. You can maybe put some personal goals in there. But project yourself to the end of December 31st, 2013, to write that statement. With the values, purpose, and tag, the 3 to 5 year plan, you need to just put a sentence or statement out on that. On the bottom of page 1, it says Hedgehog Concept. I'll come back to that here at the end of our time. Business plans are all structured a little differently. That's why I didn't them up on the screen, because if you didn't have that business plan, you'd be lost. So just follow in your business plan as I'm talking. As you look on 2, most of you have kind of a 2012 annual, gathering your numbers. Gather your 2012 numbers. You should know your numbers. We can help you know them better than anyone else with our tracking systems for next year if you're interested. But get your 2012 numbers and then come up with your 2013 annual goal. Some of you on your business plan, it'll give you 4 options of services and products, and it'll say describe. You've got to fill in the blank. For the loan originators, we put new loan and refi, for example. But you may need to add more to that. Via FA insurance, you have different personal lines and commercial lines and so forth. You have to fill in those blanks and customize that for yourself. We get the goal then we come to monthly goals. And by the way, here's one of the keys for you in filling and completing out your business plan. You want to add up. So you want your monthly goal to add your annual. Let me give you an example. Let's want to have 100 sales for the 100 transactions. And the monthly is 8.3. Well, round it up to 9 or 10 for the month. And we'll pay weekly to make the monthly and so forth. For sales managers, some of you have sales department business plan. Your individual rep goals should exceed the goal that you're setting for them. That you'll pad your sales department plan. So if you're thinking rep A will make, we want him to be at 60,000. We want to challenge him or her to be at 75 and to be working their business plan to hit that number. The weekly numbers change. What happens when we get to weekly? Now start focusing on other key components. Look at your weekly goals on your business plan, and I give you formulas in there. Monthly, though, when we hit our monthly goals, we're starting to look at presentations. How many presentations do we need to gain so many sales? By the way, our goal with our clients is to close 75% or better of their presentations on site. Now, if you're not there yet, make sure you're adjusting your business plan to what you are doing now. But the focus, how many presentations are needed in the month to get the sales. One step begets another. Go to weekly. Look at your weekly plan, or your weekly numbers. Start moving into appointments. We start talking about how many conversations or contacts do we need to have. We need to start talking about how many dials or door knock attempts do we need to hit that goal. One action begets another. If we don't start drilling down into these lower end numbers, we'll have a hard time identifying or seeing how can we get to this large goal. This is why people fail to set larger ones. These business plans are wired to help you get to that final place. Let's take a look at daily goals. It's very similar to the weekly. Here's what it's meant to do. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're working out your business plan. Determine your goal. You need to have 50 conversations in a week and 120 dials. Well, that may sound like a lot. Well, let's divide it by 5. All of a sudden, that's 10 conversations a day. We need 25 contacts a week, and it's only 5 a day. Pretty soon you start looking and saying, listen, I can make 10 a day or 15 or 20 or 20 a day. That's my job anyway, or should be my job. It starts to help you get a better picture on what you need to do every day. Now, listen, if this is the first time you've completed your business plan and you're having trouble max out, you come to us, ask for some time with a coach, and we'll help you to map out your plan. Just for being on this call, we'll make sure you get those numbers right. Try yourself, and by the way, on your weekly and daily, let's deal more with the total numbers. Don't get too hung up on from the individual lead source or product service type. Don't worry about that. Get down to the annual. By the way, here's something else. Have sample business plans with some numbers filled out to help you identify. So if you want that, well, you can email back to Anita and say, hey, can you please send me sample business plan, if that would be a help for you. Anyone can help. Let know. The key, once you complete your business plan, you get to the end of your page and you'll see some personal rewards for yourself. Maybe you take some time to complete that out and give yourself a reward. Now, here's a tip on the daily goal. If you hit your daily goal, you're not going to buy yourself a flat screen TV every day. It's going to be a pretty low back, or maybe a coffee or something. Maybe annual or monthly goal has a larger reward. Reward yourself. Let's post it. By the way, we also have goal summary forms. If you're interested in those, to summarize your plan, we have a one-page summary that you can place on your wall to keep those goals in front of you. That's very, very important. Once you finished your plan, the next step you need to do is to report report and measure the progress to someone. If you need help with that, let us know that as well. Listen, this market demands your best. Bring your game, get serious about being more intentional in your business, with specifics on it, report, and the likelihood of you achieving your goals will be infinitely higher. I know I have people on this call who are clients of mine who have experienced that very phenomenon. And I don't expect you to have your business plan done. I'm walking you through how to get there. I don't know if we can help. I want to transition now to the prospect plan, and I'd like you to have in front of you the prospect plan, and I want to talk about that. So once we've completed our business plan, we set our goals, and we've identified the daily goals and daily contacts that we need to make, we need to start working on our prospect plan. We need to be specific there. We start identifying who are our key lead sources and our key methods. So when we take a look on the prospect plan, our source is very simply where leads come from. And our methods are examples of how we gain and leads. Okay? It's very simple. So let's talk about that. Basically, leads, let me give you some examples, and you can write them down or can see examples on your prospect plan. You can start identifying and then writing down some additional ones. But the top three for most people, lead sources are sphere of influence, your current clients, and referrals. The most common. Then we have targeted leads. So each industry has their own. So, for example, a lot of you have targeted businesses as your source, or targeted residences. Realtors have FSBOs or expireds. Loan originators have realtors as their targeted group. There are many more. In addition, there are obviously internet, social media. We could go on and on. We could get a wall filled of leads. The key here is identifying where they come from and where your business is coming from, and you need to identify where your business is coming from. Now, prospect methods are, again, how you get your leads. So, generally speaking, for most of you, I bet if we really took a hard look, there's a lot of business that just comes to you that you process. Now, if all you're doing is processing incoming leads, you're losing more business than you're taking in. This is a problem. Or cold calling and warm calling, or most of, again, business is coming in from an incoming place, but you're not going after business yourself. You're missing a key segment. So cold calling, warm calling, call-in, those are typical types of prospecting methods. There are more specifics for your industry. The key here is you need to identify your top three. Write this down on your prospect plan. Know your top three lead sources and methods. If you don't know how to identify that, turn to the page 3 of your prospect plan. It says, it gives your client name, lead source, and methods. Take your last 20 clients, your last 20 sales, come out, think back, where did that lead come from? Was it a lead list? Was it from a webinar? Was it a referral? Identify what that lead source came from, and come back in and identify what prospect method did you use. Again, if all of your business is incoming, you're missing a lot of business. There's a lot of low-hanging fruit around you. By the way, I want to define cold calling. People are really resistant to cold calling. I want to show stats. Number one, the the number one reason why businesses fail, this will surprise you all. The reason why businesses fail, write this down, lack of sales. The number one best way to increase sales, this is going to surprise you all, is cold calling. Let me define cold and warm calling, though. Cold calling is simply reach out to a person that doesn't know who you are, not expecting your call, but they're targeted and untargeted. They're shotgun cold calling where you're just going down a list, and that can be of direct benefit as well. There's also targeted cold calling. Some of you that consider calling your sphere and past clients for a referral a cold call, that's not at all. That's a warm call. They know who you are. You have a relationship with them. A referral lead is a warm call. For realtors, calling a FSBO or expired is not a cold call. They're raising their hand. They want to sell their home. My auctioneer friends up in Saskatchewan and Alberta, let's say call a farm listing as lead source for doing an auction. They sell their home, or farm. They may want to sell their implements as well. Targeted warm call. So let that definition in. But you need to understand what those prospect methods and what the lead source is. You need to know your top three. So if you don't know, complete that. We help our clients through our production tracking know the exact percentages on all lead sources and lead methods. When you move on to page 4 on your prospect plan, rank, give the percentage of source. Now I've understood your top 3 lead sources and methods. And turning to page 5 on your prospect plan, if you have a goal of 10 contacts a day, break down on your key sources how many you should call or contact or approach. If it's a business, how many of those a day are you going to do? By the way, here's another tip and key. Batch your leads. Calling so many past clients, you're going to say the same thing over and over again. Your language, you'll get to incompetence at a sooner pace. Be more intentional as you go through your business plan, your prospect plan, and who you're going after. Again, we'll say that comes into our core selling class. We'll be teaching that in our webinar series as well. So we want to find our key lead sources and methods. I'm going to go over some prospecting rules with you. There's key rules in the marketplace. You definitely want to write this down. Number 1 is the 74% rule. This is going to surprise many of you. It actually comes from the real estate side, but it applies to all industries. It's 74% of all transactions, 74% of all transactions close with the first agent or rep a prospect talks to. Think about it. 74% of all transactions close with the agent or rep a prospect talks to. People, you need to start talking to more people. Everyone on this call, you are in a contact sport. If you're in real estate, insurance, loan origination, small business, television ad, media sales, you are in a contact sport. You need to increase your contacts. 74% actually find that hard to believe as well. That's a NAR statistic from a real estate side. Usually, industry statistics are about the same. Here's something else, the 20, 30, 50 rule. Here's the 20, 30, 50 rule says, and this is for some of you in your room on the call, that's like you have a referral-based business. Think about yourself. I'm asking you, do you have a referral-based business? You're saying yes. Here's what the 20, 30, 50 rule says. 20% of your sphere and past clients will repeat for anything else but serve them well during this process. And what I mean by that, most people will do a halfway decent job of serving them. Most people, however, do a very poor job of following up after the sale to nurture the prospect or the client, rather, to gain repeat and referral business. Most people leave them alone, which is a huge mistake. 20%, if you think of a repeat and referral business and you treat people well but you don't follow up with them, 20% roughly are repeating and referring. 30% won't do anything no matter what you do. You might get real aggressive and start sending clowns to their birthday every year, and you'll get no more business. No matter what you do, 30% will never repeat or refer, yet 50%, half of your past clients or current clients, sphere, will repeat and refer because you created front of mind awareness. So, if you're not following up with your past and sphere, you're getting incoming referral business, you're feeling pretty good about it, you're losing more than you're taking in, and this is what the 20, 30, 50 rule says. This should be a big motivator for you. You want to dramatically grow your business to work your sphere, your past clients, at a much level than you're doing now. I'll almost guarantee you, everyone on this call, if we have a one-on-one conversation, we'll find out areas where you can be growing and gaining your business. This will also help you to see how you can grow your business and have a much better year than you've imagined. Key disciplines and skill sets and functionality in place in your business. This is another rule, the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, which actually coincides with the 20, 30, 50. Here's what the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 says. 1/3 of the people you approach to sell buy from you no matter what you do. If you do no skill development, if you wing it the way, if you're winging it, you'll get 1/3, no matter what. They'll just buy from you. You ask enough people on the corner, you stand on the corner, and you ask enough people coming by, will you buy, will you buy, will you buy? Somebody will say yes. 1/3 won't buy from you no matter what you do. Kind of like the 20, 30, 50. 1/3 you may get. So 1/3 you'll get no matter what. 1/3 you won't get no matter what. 1/3 you may get depending on what. This is why we spend a lot of time, effort, and energy. This is why we exist as a company, to help our clients get the ones they may get depending on how they execute, or get them to the 50% to activate client awareness. Now you ask, why is the percentage number different? Because when we're talking past and sphere, you have a higher relationship than just regular people off the street. So you have a greater leverage factor on the past and sphere clients. In mind, I know a lot of business being left on the table for most of you. There's a lot of opportunity for you to seize and grab and have a phenomenally better year than you did last year. Here's the last rule: conversion versus lead generation. Most people I talk to get very hung up on lead generation. I don't have enough leads. I need more leads. Too many of us, even on this call, spend way too much money buying leads. Here's what I'll tell you. The issue is lead conversion, not lead generation. I mean, for most businesses, for most people on the call, it's not a matter so much of leads call or have conversation with. So it's about how we approach and handle them once we get in front of them. Our course and behavior selling webinars will help address that. People have a lead conversion problem, not a lead generation problem. You have leads all around you. You need to identify, grab hold of them, their contact information in the CRM, and have a targeted response and approach to meet them. Again, our webinar series on core and behavior selling will help map that out. Again, for most of us, it's about lead conversion, not lead generation. Let's spend less on buying leads and it better on working the leads around us. Okay. By the way, if you're an independent rep and you're responsible for your own business, you're spending 5% of your gross commission income. If you're spending more than that trying to buy leads, you're spending way too much money. Too often we do that hoping that it's a magic pill that business will just come to us. In fact, a lot of companies, lead generation companies, will sell themselves or position themselves as a magic pill There is no magic pill out there. You need to work those leads as you get them. If I asked all of you, when we were in the room together, what kind of a year you want to have, I'm sure all of you would say you want to thrive. Nobody wants to survive. Surviving's not fun. So my question again for you, how many of you really want to thrive? How many of you are willing to make the necessary changes in your business to get the different results? In other words, so many of us will say, yeah, I want to do better. I want to have this great year, but we're unwilling to make the necessary changes in our business to get the results we want to get. Well, this is the definition of insanity, wanting different results without changing what we're doing. At the end of the webinar, you'll receive not only a feedback form, but you'll also receive a year-end review and a 6 foundational corner checklist. It will help you, again, to identify not only how you rate in the peak performance disciplines, but what are the key growth areas you need to work and improve on to make your business plan a reality. I encourage all of you to complete that. I'm speaking mostly to non-clients right now. Clients, we're all working in on that. But complete that. Get that back to one of us, and we'll spend time. One of our coaches will spend time with you to help you identify those key development needs and to help you finish your business plan as we do this. But listen, folks, the decision's yours. What you want to do with your business and your year. There's no other one responsible to make this happen other than yourself. So let's take that personal responsibility and make this our best year ever. Now, as I said before, the state of your business, and by the way, if you're an individual rep, you have your own book of business. It's a selection of you. There's a few of you who are CEOs and business owners, but I'm challenging all of you to think of yourself as your own CEO. And if I asked, if we were in the room and I said, how many of you consider yourself to be a good company, a good sales rep, I think a lot of you would probably raise your hand. Yeah, I'm pretty good. Folks, good is not good enough. Right good could put you on a path of insolvency. We strive to become great, and I want to share some key, great concepts from Jim Collins' book. Again, help you think about not only having a great year, but building a great company, even your own individual company. Level 5 leadership, just show there's some great books we can recommend to you, but it's about humility with confidence. It's about raising others, being concerned about the company and greater good other than just raising your own pride and ego. Right on the bus is huge. Now, if you're an individual rep, this is about your team. Even if you don't have a team yet, your support team. If you're in low, obviously your processor would be very, very important. Your strategic partners, realtor, you may have a team. Your transaction coordinators, your buy agents, but also your LOs. Do you have the right LOs? Insurance. When you're in on insurance, your support team. Very important. Do you have the right people on the bus? We put square pegs in round holes all the time. We need the wrong people off, keep the right people on. Actually help with hiring. We can have another conversation about that. Let us know. Confirm brutal facts. In order for you to have your best year ever in 2013, I'm sure all of you have some issues that need to be dealt with. Maybe some cancer that has to be removed. You may have just some of your internal barriers. Your internal thought process may need to be dealt with. Let me tell you, when we're talking about the peak performance disciplines, when we're referring to attitude, 90% of this game is won between the ears or lost. How we're processing and our attitude and mindset is so important. If we think we won't, we probably won't achieve that goal. If we can and will, there's a really good chance if we apply ourselves behind it. Just thinking and wishing it doesn't get the job done. But if we take the necessary action and the commitment and the discipline to make it happen, we have a much greater likelihood of seeing that success. Discipline throughout. I will say, you as a leader, you're all leaders. Discipline thought, discipline people, discipline action. It starts with you. Most lack discipline. In fact, most of us are in our positions because we didn't want to adhere to a schedule. We didn't want to punch a clock. We want to drive our own ship. Well, for some of you that might be fine, but others, I need to ask: are you making a minimum wage? Because sometimes we let that lack of discipline run us into the ground. Discipline throughout is a good thing. It actually gives you more freedom and flexibility when you apply it. And then the hedgehog concept, and I'll actually get into the more specifics on that in just a minute. 7 key steps to thriving in 2013 should, I think, be some of your blank notes. A lot of what we say, and this is somewhat of a repeat, but we'll get to that. Number 1, deal in specifics. I think we've made a really good point on that. Your business plan, your prospect plan. We, on our live version of this, talk about our marketing plan. See, this may just seem like a lot. You've never gone through this before, but it's really important. One of the reasons why you're at a wall or you have a lid is because you've dealt in generalities and you allow others to control your business and so forth. We need to turn the corner. We need to deal in specifics. Get a plan of specifics and then report and measure the results. You need to measure your values, purpose, and BHAG. I'm going to get into this a little deeper and why that's so important here in a minute. You all need to have this very crystallized. You need to have it posted. I share it. When you see emails from us, from our company, look on the bottom under our signature file. Our core purpose is on every email. That's a nice, easy way to get that out. We have our core purpose and BHAG posted in our office. We share that with prospects and clients in our presentation. When I hire someone, they align with our values and purpose. You need to do the same. This is very important. By the way, you need to be values and purpose driven. When we get to our core selling skills, for that, we teach you to eliminate the whole commodity mindset. If your consumers are driving you to a commodity mindset, it's because you're letting them and you're not working from a position of strength from the values and purpose place. Really important that we turn the corner on that. Again, this will build on that. Becoming a level 5 leader. Again, we can help you with your level 5 leader development plan. My clients that are in on this are seeing tremendous results. We have great books and recommendations for you on that. Again, right people on the bus. Let's let the wrong people off. Let's keep the right people on. If you're your own rep, talk to your strategic, your key network partners. If you have a team and it's not working, by the way, just being related or a best friend doesn't qualify somebody to be on the team. They have the skills, the attitude, the mindset, the experience, and so forth. Confront brutal facts. Let's not delay those any longer. Let's get them in front of us. Let's plan to push through and eliminate them. Let's get the discipline and create your hedgehog concept. And I'll come back to the hedgehog in just a moment. I want to talk about why crystallizing your core values and purpose and BHAG are important now more than ever. Okay. First of all great companies are relentless in their focus on their core values, purpose, and BHAG. They work within them. They keep a focus on them. If it was them, it works for you. The issue is most of your competition isn't focused here. It's a one-up on you. Them are just trying to get through the day. They're trying to grab next sale. It's not you. You're forward thinking. You have vision. You're looking ahead. You're planning ahead. But that purpose and BHAGs are needed for you if you want to advance. It keeps you focused and looking forward confidently. Remember, confidence is one of the key the peak performance disciplines. Let's ensure that we have that in place. With them, there's no advance. This is really important. We need to make sure that we have that all in place. I want to share this hedgehog concept. I've been mentioning it and saying I'm going to come to it. Well, here we are. Go back to your business plan on page 1. On the bottom, I believe you have a hedgehog concept. I want to talk to you about what the hedgehog concept is. This is out of Good to Great. And one key element they found that all great companies do, besides all those key points I brought up, is they stay within their hedgehog concept. And what the hedgehog concept is about, it's basically derived from the ancient Greek parable Isaiah Berlin put in writing, which is hedgehog and the fox. So here's the concept. The fox knows many things. Now, when you see the picture there, it's obvious that fox has tremendous advantages. Much larger, they're faster, they're wide, they have a number of tools and approaches. Yet the hedgehog knows one thing. Okay? The hedgehog wins every single time the fox comes up. Why? Because they know the key to their success, and they stay within their key to success. So it's not so much a sandbagging or defensive connotation here. It's the fact that they understand what they do better than anything else and anyone else. They know what can be the best in the world at. And so the box represents the companies that will change the product. They'll have a new product or thing of the month. Sit down, they'll create a new product and roll it out. Change their approach, or the sales rep will start jumping into this arena, in that arena. This lead source. Okay, I'm going to. I haven't done short sales. I'm going to jump into short sales, just to try to find new business. That's like the fox. They try many things. They work at a number of different things, but they don't really do anything super well. Thrivers who run at peak performance, the great companies know their one thing. These are the key components, and they're on your business plan. What are you deeply passionate about? You need to ask yourself that question. What are you deeply passionate about? Now, listen, if you're an individual rep and it's coming up with nothing, having nothing to do with what you're currently doing, you maybe need to go pursue this other great thing. Most of you are, by choice, doing what you're doing. There's a reason for that, and you have multiple options. But you need to think about, what are you deeply passionate about? Every great company knows what they are deeply passionate about. What can you be the best in the world at, or your world? What can you be the best in the world at? From a company standpoint, Sales Solutions, deeply passionate about making a difference one person at a time. We get very excited every day getting up to help impact the lives of our clients and help them to move and advance. When they succeed, we succeed. It really gets excited. That's actually part of our core purpose. We feel we can be the best, or we're the best in the world at one-on-one coaching. We've been doing it for several years now. We know what our competitors do. There's great competitors. We found what we can do very, very well. This is where you need to go as well. What drives your economic engine? Now, here's the formula you need to come up with. Profit per X. So is it profit per client? Is it profit per transaction? No, you have to figure that out. But profit per blank. You know what that number is. Think about that. Because your activity from your business plan will generate such of those economic engines. And know that if you do A, it creates B, creates C, creates D, creates the sale. One begets another. You need to take some time to understand what your hedgehog concept is. Well, we're coming to the last 10 minutes or so, and then I'm going to open up the phones. I'm going to try to get a look here at our, hopefully you have some questions or comments. We can go. Otherwise, I'll just open up the phones here. But I want to talk about implementation. What you learn. Now, listen. Our goal when we hold these events is to give you as much information as possible. I would rather over-inform than under-inform. And I know for some that may seem a little overwhelming, but overwhelm me than underwhelm you, okay? So, on your part, it's what you do with the knowledge learned. And I will say, and I think all of you will agree, that knowledge without implementation is worthless. This really is a plaguing epidemic in our business society. Too much knowledge gathered and gained without implementation. This is very costly to individuals and to companies. The statistics say people who attend webinar, training, seminar, at best, and that's why I say take lots of notes. I'm trying to reduce these numbers or increase the percentages in your favor. At best, we can retain 10% of what we heard if we're taking good notes. Okay. Usually, we come back and implement 1/10 of that 10% or 1%. If lucky, that's a high number. Too bad. That's why so many people go to events and say, I'm going to try to get 1 or 2 nuggets, because they know they have implementation issues. Okay? Come take action. So the key here is to make the difference, take action into your business, and gain in accountability. Really key. Whoever, get somebody to report and measure the results for it. Now, real quickly, I'm just going to cover it real quickly, and we're going to get to the phones. We're going to get to your information. The best way for you to implement your plan is coaching. We have our webinar series. Now, I'd like you all to just go real quickly and look on your email. Go in email and grab the coaching and the webinar flyer. There's a webinar series that we're doing that I want you to be aware of. It's not just today's session. On coaching, just real quickly, and if you have some questions you'd like to ask us, we'll be happy to ask. But bottom line, I don't want to spend too much time here on this. But one-on-one or group coaching, you will know yourself better than you ever have before. With our multiple sessions, we'll spend more time with you than anyone else. We'll help you customize like no one else, get you into the specifics, give you the accountability in weekly sessions. Look at our series that we have. This first one, we're meeting every other week. The conversations and topics. Next one is leveraging time to grow your business. We'll be giving you the tools, the concepts, and disciplines that performers utilize. We'll actually be bringing in behavior selling and core selling. To those 2 disciplines, behavior selling, this includes a DISC behavior assessment, and you'll understand your behavior, the behavior of the people you're doing business with, and how to blend and help them by their way. Core skills will teach you the disciplines, process needed to shorten your sales process, increase conversions, teach you how to ask for the sale at the right time, and know where the sale failed if it did fail. We have the schedule. As you look at roster, you see the dates. They're all starting at the same time. They're all Wednesdays. They're all at the same time. Not all of them are 19 each. The behavior selling is a little bit more. You can bet, or you can pay $149 in full. If you want to join the rest of them and put those on the calendar, you can just complete that and just pay the $130. Clients, we have a slightly lower rate for you. We can talk about that if you want to jump on. It's not too late to complete for the other series. One last thing, our next webinar, and then I'm going to get to the phones here. Next, or our conversations. Next Wednesday, December 12th, same time, we're doing leveraging time to grow your business. We'll talk about how to gain control of your business time, clients, raise your dollar per hour, and identify the barriers to you gaining control of your time. This is a great webinar time. You'll be very glad that you participated. So I thank you for this time. I'm giving time for questions here. I'm going to go ahead and unmute the phones here. So plan 5 and 13. Let us know how we can help. Here's our number. And I do want to get here. I'm hoping I can get into our, hold on here a moment. I want to make sure I can get into our questions here. Okay. Let's see. how I get back in. Just if questions and I'm unable to get to you, we'll go ahead and help you to get your question answered. So we will certainly get back to you. Okay. All right. Let me go ahead here. We'll share share our applications. Let me get that here. If you can go ahead and unmute the phones so if people have questions.
Or maybe not. They're back. That's weird. Really? It's not listed on there. Oh. There last time. He used to be one of our big. And Ken. Sam was there too. Was he? That's my next conference call. Thanks for having us. Thanks for serving lunch.
Yeah, thanks for lunch.
I got a note that I guess hopefully you can hear me now. If you want to talk, take yourself off the mute button. Thanks, Peter. If you have a comment, let us know. Thanks. So we're on. But go ahead and unmute your mic. If you have questions about content we discussed, how to implement your business plan. Question? Pamela?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Can hear you.
Oh.
Well, I'm enjoying the webinar. It's not to end, so I'm going to have to work on this plan and try to work on what we need to do before we talk Friday evening.
Well, the nice thing is you've committed to coaching and to accountability, and we're going to help you track and measure. One thing, you can get started on some of that with our session that will put us ahead. But we're going to do all of this in steps. For all of you who, if this is feeling like a lot, we want to, in steps, put this in place. Step at a time. Time aside to work on is very important. Go ahead, Pamela.
No, that's very good. I find this is very helpful for me with my business to the extent that I want to this year. I want to be add more people to my team and add the right people to my team because I've made mistakes in the past, and so it's been very good for me to get the right people in here. So I think I'll learn a lot.
Well, and you're right. We've all made mistakes, and listen, we want to use failure as stepping stones for success. Failure is part of the process for success. There's anyone who's succeeded big that's done so by avoiding trials, tribulations, and failure. We will all do that. So the key is to understand and then bring that together. So that's great. We'll help you with that. Being in the specifics is very key, Pamela. Anyone else?
I'm very interested to bring down so specifically. My goals, my basic business plans in the past have been more or less based on general statements and things like that. They haven't. The problem is, I can create a plan, but sometimes if I don't actually review it, I get lost throughout the year in what I'm actually working on, and it becomes overwhelming because I'm not sticking to it.
So what we want to do, Pamela, this is not going to be a one-time exercise. What we're doing is helping you to finish it out. You'll use the summary form so it stays in front of you. When we get into tracking your business, that'll be loaded in. We'll always be repeating and reviewing and looking at those. We're going to be monitoring our activity, especially the daily and weekly activity, to see how close we're getting there. Again, getting ourselves more and more specific. So none of this happens overnight. But when we're moving from that generalities, Pamela, to the specifics, that's very important.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. We'll be on looking forward to our time tomorrow. I'm sure looking forward to that.
All right. I'll talk to you then. Thank you.
Thanks. Take care. Okay. Questions about what we discussed? Again, getting help or needing help, please let me know. Give a call. Share your thoughts. Peter, it looks like you're on the phone. You're still on mute. You want to begin, or Jerry?
Yeah, Rich, can you hear us?
You're fine, Peter. Thanks for letting me know what happened. It was actually my headset here got unplugged. I was trying to figure out what was going on, so thanks for letting me know.
Rich, one of the things we struggle with, and we're a member of a few organizations, what's the key to implementation?
That's a question. Just in general, right, Peter? Discipline, skill sets, tools, all that stuff, right? I would say a couple things, Peter. Number one is you have to believe that what you want or need to implement will be in your interest. It'll help you to do more business. In other words, you've got to have that confidence that this is the right thing to put in place. Otherwise, as it's challenging, because sometimes new systems, disciplines, processes are challenging and painful, we'll bail. So you got to believe that it's in your interest. It's part of your growth plan. You have to make unending commitment to put it in no matter what. Everyone on this call has had some level of experience doing something that they really loved and wanted to do, even though it was painful and hard, and put it in place. We all can come back to that. It's the same. You had a commitment. You knew it was in your better interest. You really wanted to do it. There's some of the stuff that you may not want to do. It may seem painful, but you know it's there. So the next would be to break it to manageable steps. We eat one bite at a time, Peter, right? And I was thinking of you when we were on the call about looking back and seeing what we've accomplished, and maybe not everything was accomplished, but when you and I were on our last call, man, you look back and there was a lot of things you actually accomplished. You wrote down, you dealt in specifics, you worked towards them. Very important. But it's to report and to someone. Get it down to manageable specifics and report and measure to someone. Answer your question?
Yes, it does. That's kind of like a summary of what you were talking the whole time. And that is, starting with believing it, second, committing no matter what, and third, put down to manageable steps. And to your point, we were talking, and I did review my business plan last year when making the one for this year, and hit a lot of those goals. Some of them still need some more work. But
yeah, I was thinking of you in that because that was a key element in on that. And I'll have room to grow. There's more for you to get. But the other thing is, I think increase. If we have the reporting and measuring, increase it if what the what you're doing doesn't cover it. Again, like you did, Peter. Remember, you brought that additional accountability in with your other group, right? And then you reported, and the accountability. Make it full. Pain. We're on such a pain avoidance society right now, and the pain is part of the process. So good. One question, anyone? More question or comment? Well, thank you so much for participating. If we can help you with your plans, with identifying your growth areas, let us know. Again, if this is your first time to call, we can come alongside and help you with that. Make 2013 your best year ever, and have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Rich.